For 7.2, consider adopting ordinance number 23-16, amending Chapter 2, Animal Control, Article 2.09, Care and Humane Treatment of the Granbury City Ordinance by adding Section 2.09.005.
Thank you, Mayor. This brought to my attention by Chief Galvan, so I'll let him make his presentation to you. Thanks, Chief.
Mayor, City Council, Mr. Manager, this ordinance amendment is adding a section to it for the care and humane treatment of animals. What brought this on is we received numerous calls, especially during the summer and in the winter months, of animals locked in vehicles with the windows up at a big box store or wherever. And it becomes, especially during the here starting in about another month or so, it's gonna start coming into play, where we respond and we've got to assess whether or not an animal is in danger or not. Currently, the only option we have is through the Penal Code, and that statute has to do with cruelty to animals as a Class A misdemeanor. Sometimes a lot of these cases don't rise to that level of being falling under that Penal Code statute. And there's also sometimes where it's kind of hard to meet the elements to prosecute the offense. But that's the only option we currently have. We do not have an ordinance that will address this issue for us. And so staff did some research on this matter and found other cities in the state that have an ordinance that actually deals directly with this type of incident of dogs and cats, or animals, period, non-livestock animals, being left in vehicles in extreme temperatures. So we did what a lot of people do, and that is we took the best out of all the ordinances that we looked at and we put it into one and had our city attorney look at it and help us with the language that will not only give our officers that ability to write a Class C citation for an ordinance violation, but also protect the city if we have to take action as far as breaking a window in a vehicle to get access to that animal and bring it to safety. So we're bringing this to you, asking you to approve this ordinance amendment that will, in fact, we had a call on that today. Failed to mention that we had a call related exactly to this today in one of our big box stores parking lots. But we're asking you to pass this amendment so that our officers will have that ability of discretion on how to address these situations when it might not quite meet the level of animal cruelty. Any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Mr. Rodriguez?
I got a question on Section B, and it's kind of, I guess I wanted your intention here. And I'll read the section unless. And
I don't have that section with me, so if you would just read me what it says.
So it's 2.09.005, leaving animal unattended in vehicle. Okay. So in Section B it says it is presumed that an animal's health, safety, or welfare is in danger when the animal is confined in a parked or standing vehicle without the engine running or climate control system engaged. So I took that right there. So if the animal's in the vehicle, that means that the truck or vehicle has to be running and the climate control needs to be on. Okay, got it. Or in a trailer or truck bed. So that leads me, how do you put a climate control in a trailer or truck bed and then have, I don't understand that.
No.
For a period of 5 minutes or more when the ambient outside air temperature measures above 80 degrees.
Okay, the part about the engine running or the climate control system engaged is one part.
Okay.
Or if it's left in a trailer or a truck bed for a period of 5 minutes or more when the ambient temperature is up.
Okay.
It's two separate things.
I understand that, but can you see how it can be misinterpreted because of this sentence?
No,
For me, it could be.
I don't know. It went through us and it went through the attorney, and I.
Yeah, the or that's in there makes that statement disjunctive. So it's either I mean, I understand what you're saying. I guess you could have said B1 or B2 to further separate that, but it reads that way with the disjunctive or.
And I have no problem if you feel more comfortable with it being a B1 or a B2 and we separate the two. I don't have an issue with that at all.
I mean,
This is, and understand this is, if you're reading the part that I think you're reading, which
Right.
is the Word document,
yes,
okay, that was what I put in as the changes, the actual physical ordinance. I don't know if it's separated by one or two or not. Well, no, that was just the language that I sent them. I don't know if it's broken out in one or two, but I wouldn't have a problem putting it B1 or B2 if you think that's an issue at all.
the other thing is, I don't know if 80 degrees is, how did y'all come with 80 degrees Fahrenheit? I mean,
Well, you got to think it might be 80 degrees outside, but it's not going to be 80 degrees inside your car.
right, that's what
We
I'm
just
getting at.
we just polled all of these different cities' ordinances to see what the norm was in trying to establish this type of ordinance, and that was it.
Right, because I could see the danger inside a vehicle because the vehicle gets hotter.
Absolutely.
But is it going to be up to the police officer's discretion if it's 80 degrees outside? It's, the wind's at 10 miles an hour, giving it enough breeze where the dog is in the back of a bed of a truck. Is that going to be a tickable?
It's always going to be officer's discretion on whether or not they can tell an animal's in distress or not. So it's not like anything else. They're going to show up and they're going to look at what's in front of them to determine whether or not this is a violation or not.
Okay.
Other comments, questions? Mr.
Just
Vail?
clarification. Mitch, all of these situations are somebody calls in normally, right? Somebody goes to Walmart, parks, there's a dog next door in the car, and the car's not running, and it's hot outside, and we all know the temperature inside, and then they'll call, police officer responds, and then makes a decision whether or not to physically intervene to, relieve the dog of the distress that he or she is observing. So, yeah, to me, it's self-explanatory, but that's just me.
Other comments, questions?
Thank you.
Good, just thank you for being proactive on this. I hope you don't ever have to use it, but it's there. Should it be approved?
Unfortunately, it's going to be something we use quite often, considering how many times we deal with this type of situation. And no, this was a result of our animal control officer, Hugo Gomez, and Lieutenant Grizzard getting together and coming up with this idea of putting something out there that we can use a lot better than the animal cruelty statute that's in the penal code. So, it was their due diligence of coming up, seeing that we have an issue that Hugo deals with this on a regular basis, and he said, look, there's nothing else that there's there for us to do. There's not another option, but other cities do have options because he hears it when he goes to animal control training.
Right.
And that started Lieutenant Grizzard into looking and searching out these other cities and trying to get an idea of what would benefit us here in Granbury, because the need's here. It's definitely here for us to be able to do something and change some behavior with humans and their dogs going to stores and going into shop for an hour and leaving them outside with the windows up, the car not running in the heat. We've got to be able to change those attitudes and let them know, leave the dog at home if you're going to go shopping in Walmart for a couple hours. But this is going to help us do that. So thank you very much.
Appreciate your proactive approach and all the research that was done just to get this together. Other questions, comments? Okay. I need to hear a motion considering adopting ordinance number 23-16, amending Chapter 2, Animal Control, Article 2.09, Care and Humane Treatment of the Granbury City Ordinance by adding Section 2.09.005. Mr. Vail?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2316 as presented.
I second that.
I have 2 seconds here. Mr. Wadley and Ms. Reiner. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. I hear no nays. That's passed 6-0. Thank you so very much.